All right, greetings and hotep. This is Reality Speaks, and I'm titling this Reality Speaks again because the name of my TV show was Reality Speaks, and it was basically a political show that allowed me to allow black people to call in.
Whoever it was just left.
Okay, you think it was Johnny or John, as in John's father?
I said Donnie.
Oh, okay. All right. Donnie. Okay. I'm not cutting or splicing this. I just need to get this out because I'm looking through my book bag for my personal information and it's not here. So I'm trying to keep calm, but I'm a little upset because I need my ID and it was in this book bag. This book bag is primarily in the house or in my presence, right? And there's nobody living here but four of my five children. Moon, Aset, Angola, Abby, and then my nephew Alex is here. So how is it that I can go through my personal effects and my stuff not be here? So I'll have to deal with that later. But February 9th, 2022, I started this newsletter because my family has been trying to steal this property from me. They're alleging, my brother, the executor, is alleging that my mother left this property to all four of us 25% each. And now I've been removed off of the deed and just received this paper, right, which says it's from Cindy Stewart, the clerk of the circuit court, and this one says Alene, and I crossed it out and put Alva's because I took hers originally, right? And it's saying that there is going to be an auction. I'm going to turn this phone so you can see this part down here. There is going to be an auction. It was served on 4/12 at 10:19. I didn't see the person. I always take a picture of the person because there's a lot of fraudulent services that are happening. Police that come, they're in uniform. They look like a police. They might be a police, but they might be a police that's doing my brother or somebody a favor, but they're really not on duty, right? Or maybe it's just a fake person. The last person that came here that I suspected, that came to the house, there's another person I expected, was CPEASON. He is the one that came here last year on the 8th of February, 2021. I backed out of the yard into a Massey's truck. Angola, take this camera and go point it out the door where I had that little fender bender with the Massey's truck. Don't turn it off. I mean, I wish you would use two hands. It's pretty serious. I'm recording.
Right there.
Okay, come on. I don't want to make it long. Okay, did you get the car? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the car, that's Lawrence Maserati. That was a gift from Lawrence Alexander Cambridge to AleneDortheaAtkins. He wanted to make life better for me and my children. Thank you, Lawrence. I pray and hope that you're having a great time in heaven. I hope you're in heaven. So the accident happened February 8th, 2021. This CP Ensign guy came, took my driver's license, my registration, my insurance information, and I believe it was in insurance fraud with the Massey truck. He's like, oh, you damaged my truck. I said, what damage? And I looked at the police. He said, oh, it's just a little paint transfer. That's what he said with his mouth. But I believe he recorded something different on the papers, right? So I felt uncomfortable. So I took this child with me. That's Angola. I took her with me and we went down to the district and I hand wrote a note saying that I really think my brother's trying to hem me up in a hit and run accident. And I returned back to the house really because I felt God led me back to the house to deal with this situation. Now, when I backed out into the guy, he said, my nephew was in the car with me riding shotgun. I was taking him to Bank of America. And he said, Oh, Auntie, he said everything's cool. I said, okay. So as we were leaving, I looked down. I said, we're cool? He said, yes, we're cool. You're okay. My light was broken, but there was nothing wrong with that very big, heavy-duty Massey's truck, right? So I was going on about my business. We went to the store. I dropped my nephew back off here. I left, went to the store, and then I was on my way to wash clothes. And it's like the Spirit of God, the spirit of my inner self, the Spirit of good said, go back to your house, go back to your house, go back to your house. I said, no, if I go back to the house, I might not wash clothes. So I relented. And as I was coming up 32nd Street, I saw these police. And I was like, wait a minute. So I pulled over and prayed, because there's a slave that still lives in me that gets real scared at the beginning. So I have to calm myself down and get into my God self. Thank you, Ra'un Nefer, who came up with the Medu Neter volumes 1 through 4, where I learned the process of Min-Ab. So I stopped, I did my Min-Ab. I recited, I am strong, I am mighty, I am woman, I am God. And then I felt like the Spirit of God told me to go around the block instead of straight up. If I had gone straight up, I might have missed both of them. So I circled the block. The little young black guy that was in the big truck that I hit, he was gone. But there was a little pickup truck, a Massey's pickup truck that was coming in. And I said, hey, can you come back to my house? So when we got back to my house, there were 2 police officers, 2 cars still left. And I got out. I said, I know y'all not trying to hand me up with a hit and run. And my brother was standing up there with his arms crossed and in his little negative face. So I knew it was some BS going on. So to shorten a long story, he took my information, and I said, the young man told us we could go on. It wasn't a problem. There was no damage. My brother said, that's not what he said. I said, well, what did he say? Because I was recording, so I put the camera phone up to my brother. I said, well, what did he say? My brother didn't say nothing, which meant he was lying. I said, I know you trying to sandbag me. You don't even have anything to do with it. So why are you talking at all? He ain't have nothing to say. And if you know my brother, he always got something to say. At least to women and children. I don't think he speaks up to men. I really don't. Let me try to not make this personal. It is personal. So to shorten another whole long story, I gave him my ID, and I felt uncomfortable because my brother was standing there. And my brother, he's the kind of person, he will pay people under the table to get your information and do all kind of effery. And by the time you find out about it, they're coming to pick you up and take you off to jail. You don't even know what's going on. So after we got to the precinct that night, it was between 6 and 7, because I know a couple of people that are police officers, so I know they work from 7 to 7. So I tried to catch him before he did his report and asked him to make sure to include Alexander T. I don't want to be putting people's full names out without their permission on the report, so that the report could be complete as possible. So the girl, the little skinny Caucasian girl that was behind the counter, was on crutches, and she said, oh, he can't come up here now, he's on the phone. I said, okay, well, give him these papers. Gave her the papers. We left. I felt uncomfortable. I called Massey's number that was on the card. It was Aaron Santa Domingo, something like that. And sounding like a white girl, picked up and said, hello? I said, never mind. Maybe I shouldn't be making this call. I hung up. I called back. I said, is this a business? She said, yeah, this is Massey's. So I thought that was weird, because Massey's is a big company. So for somebody to pick up the phone and say hello, something's going on. So now I'm beginning to believe that there is some kind of devices that these con artists are using to take over your phone, where you think you're calling a business, but you're not really calling a business. Several times I felt like when I made my online TICO payment, I wasn't really making an online TICO payment. So they took the $181 that I paid, and I found out through I don't want to implicate people either. I found out that there was a $1,200 credit to my account given to me by some program. but I didn't apply for the program. I started applying for the program. I never took the rest of my information to her to finish. So that means somebody went behind me, probably Letitia, last name begins with a P. I used her phone, and she has this thing on her phone where she records the entire conversation you have with the other person. So I'm just piecing these things together. This happened last year. So we're just talking about it now because I'm a little slow when it comes to this criminal activity, this fraud. But it turns out I'm around people that are very sophisticated. So they were just taking my money.
Amazing.
Now with this accident, he said, have you had any accidents lately? I said, no, I haven't had any accidents in a long time. Now my brother has run into a building. My brother does have DUIs, so my brother might be using my information, right? I listened to these tarot readers, and they said somebody used your car in a robbery, and you don't even know about it. So now I'm like wondering, did they take these keys from around my neck, or while I was sleeping, take the keys, or did they take the other keys that I have in my other book bag in the room and go do something illegal and just come and park the car back? I keep one of those, what do you call those things? The brace that you put on your car so nobody can turn it. But there's another key that's in the other room with the other car key to my car. But what I'm saying to you is if my house is now safe and there's nobody in this house that's against me, my children shouldn't have taken my information or my keys. My nephew, we've already talked, and he said, Auntie, I'm with you. I'm not against you. So how did my information get out my bag? How did my keys get out my bag? That's the question that's before me. So I have this information here, and I'm not sure if this is actually a sheriff officer that did this or somebody that has a uniform pretending to be a sheriff officer, depending on how big the operation is. A fraudulent operation can buy a police car or buy a car and put the stripings and make it look the same. Buy a sheriff car, make it look the same. Get the uniform, and they look like the real thing when they're not really the real thing, right? So I'm questioning everybody that comes this way. Now, I went and started this newsletter, Reality Speaks Again. My Reality Speaks show was done years ago when they were stealing my children from me. Let me see. I'm trying to think about how you're perceiving this, because all of this information is in me. So when I say something, I can pull up the file and plug it in. You can't. So let me close off this one right here. I'm closing up the conversation about whether or not this is a real service or this is fake. If this is really a auction that's happening on May 26th, or if this is a scam. The reason I'm asking is because I signed up to pay my taxes every quarter, right? Every quarter, which means that every 4 months I get this bill. I'm going through the few things that are still in my book bag. My ID is gone, so somebody could be using my ID. They could be cashing my checks. All kind of stuff could be happening. This is my name, and this is my water bill, just to authenticate things that I have in this bag a tax bill, and I want to show you the tax bill that just recently came to me, so that we can kind of be a little bit on one accord. This is, and I don't even know why this is coming to me, but this is AleneDortheaAtkins, my name properly spelled. Affordable document preparation from Bradenton, and that was sent April, let me see, postmarked April 7th, right? I don't even know what that is. This is really me. When I worked at the University of South Florida, I had money taken out for my retirement fund. And most of that money is actually gone, but this is another one. For about a year and a half, I was getting no mail. And I kept saying to my children that something is going on. I later found out through the tarot readers that, okay, this is A1 Property, mail from A1 Property, Inc., P.O. Box 29, is that a 6 or a 1? 1, I guess, 801, Tampa, Florida 33687. When I went online to see if this was a real organization, sunbiz.com, they were not a real organization, nor was Evelyn Rosado, the Notary Republic, a real Notary Republic. Now this says Division I 22-022789, and I haven't opened that. I wanted to take it to the police so that they could see that I did not open it. I'm not a part of some scam. I'm trying to figure out what the truth is. Now these people, tarot readers, many of them, are talking about your life is in jeopardy, somebody's trying to kill you, they're trying to sacrifice you so that they can get insurance money, they're trying to kill you because they done stole a lot of money from you, and monies that were left to you, and you need to be careful. So I don't work as many hours. I worked one day last week, and when I did work, they gave me a check with the wrong address, and weird things were happening, but they didn't put repeat ticket on there. So this is what they brought me, right? So as soon as they brought this to me, I filed a complaint with the Attorney General's office. And a detective called saying that he's investigating that incident. See right here? This says Evelyn Rosado. You see the notary public stamp. Well, when you do the research, none of that is actually real. And I couldn't find any business, anything with this man's name. But I did find that Terry Lewis, which is my brother's friend that lives up the street across from the park, Andre Lewis's brother, is a part of this organization. Well, he had an organization that was legit. That is no longer legit. So it seems like they're just furthering the scam to get me out of the house and out of the way. And who cares that your mom said, don't sell this house. We aim to sell this house, and we're going to benefit from it, and we're going to screw you over. My brother told me that the house was sold, it was $20,000 left over, and we each get $5,000. And I'm looking at him like, boy, you done bumped your head. $5,000, what is wrong with you? If your mama said don't sell it is what it is. You are a general contractor and a roofer. You can make all kind of money. You don't have to take advantage of your sister. And I don't know if my other sisters are okay with selling the house or not. You don't have to take advantage of your sister to try to get more money. Your mom said don't sell it, so that's what we're going to be on. I was wrong to ever even I was wrong to participate in getting a loan against the house. In 2008, December, we got a loan from Jervik Holdings, Inc., and that was a payment of $352. My brother had possession of the house. He was using it as a storage unit for his Milestone construction business, and when we got the nearly $20,000 that was left over after paying attorney Merkel, the probate attorney, almost $6,000 if I remember correctly. Anita Wilson or something like that was paid something like $1,000 for insurance for the house. We paid back taxes. We were supposed to put a roof on the house and put a year's worth of payments in the bank. My brother came back and said that his private board told him that he should keep the money. So he walked away with the rest of the check, gave me $500, gave Al $500, Ava allegedly didn't want the $500. But now that I'm getting into this whole family fraud understanding, I don't know who was working with one another behind the scenes and how it was actually divvied up. But this is my tax bill, right? And it says $1,001.38. I had a bill. Okay, so the quarterly amount right here, my quarterly payment is due. Okay, this is not the right one. This is June 30th, 2021. But I just got this out of the mail. So one of the things that I realized they're doing is they were holding my mail, and then they'll take a couple of pieces of mail and put it in the mailbox so that I think I'm getting legitimate mail. And this is not even legit. This says June 30th, 2021. And it says right here that the payment is $1,100.38, right? But what's confusing me, that's June. Now, it's not June yet, but this says that there